Hi, folks. Trisha Curtis, CEO of Petros and host of the Petros podcast. It is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. It is in the evening. We're looking at just shy of 8 p.m., and we are seeing crude oil prices notch up considerably. So we're kind of flirting with $59 a barrel right now, but I've seen above 60. So we went from $57 a barrel to 60 very, very quickly. And that was on the back of today. Something that dropped in the afternoon, which the market kind of missed, was the sanctioning of Rosneft and Lukoil by the U.S. Secretary of Treasury. So the Treasury Department sanctioned the Rosneft and Lukoil, and this was on the back, and the stated reasons is that they couldn't come to terms of an agreement of actually meeting. So the Budapest meeting between Trump and Putin actually fell apart. So we heard that yesterday from Axios and others, is that they weren't going to have that meeting, and clearly they couldn't come to terms on a ceasefire, an actual deal. This has been brewing for a long time. The point I'm making with this is that I have thought that oil has been oversold and battered down pretty hard. I think traders have really pressed down on oil way more than it deserved to be. Yes, we have a lot of supply. Yes, we have a lot of oil in the water. Yes, the U.S. is producing 13.64 million barrels a day as of July. Yes, Saudi has increased output, etc., etc. However, the geopolitical risk and the volatility in the market is massive, and it's not being appropriately priced. Basically, it hasn't been in there at all, especially at $57 a barrel. And the supply and demand, particularly the demand fundamentals, don't warrant that extremely low oil prices. We do have stockpiling taking place, or restocking of the SPR taking place in the U.S. It's not dramatic, but it is about just under 1 million barrels each week that's taking place. We're also seeing, incredible, massive stockpiling in China. So lots going on there. But with that, folks, I just recorded the introduction to episode 143. It is another heavy hitter, folks. I am super proud of this. This is my keynote address that I gave in Fort Worth at Whitley Penn. We go through the market soup to nuts. This is a really awesome keynote address. So this is going to be dropping this week on episode 143. If you have not listened to episode 142, please tune in. This is my conversation with Stuart Turley. I was actually on the Energy Newsbeat podcast, and we did a co-podcast. It has absolutely flown off the shelves. I've had hundreds of watches just on YouTube. They've had nearly 1,000 that have actually watched the interview, and I've had thousands of listens on my platform as well. So collectively, I think it's been several thousand, which is awesome. But with that, also, I dropped a op-ed within the Daily Caller. It's called Trisha Curtis winning against, if you just Google Trisha Curtis, you'll find it with Daily Caller. But winning against China means winning on energy. So this is a very short, sweet, energy dense, number packed op-ed that tells you exactly how much power generation China has, which is over 10,000 terawatt hours, over a third of the world's power generation, and 5,800 terawatt hours of that power generation is coming from coal, and coal alone. And that means that China has more power generation from coal than any nation in the entire world, including the US. So super important to think in the context of competition with China. But with that, folks, I was just in Houston yesterday. I did not have a chance to do a video. I was speaking at an NGP TPH executive symposium. It was absolutely awesome. It was Chatham House rules, so it was not recorded, but I was really honored to be invited to speak. It was great. I will be headed to Whitley Penn, their conference. I was there last week in Dallas, and next week I'll be headed to Houston for the last Fueling the Future Whitley Penn conference. So if you're in town or you're not in town, get there. Don't miss it. It's going to be great. It will be the last one. It will be a very awesome keynote, a full hour-long conversation, and it will be very new packed, and it's not going to be a repetition of anything we've had before, because the market keeps changing. And lastly, Denver Earth Resources Library. If you are not registered, November 5th, please come to the Denver Earth Resources Library. This is the Rockies Expo, and we are starting the day off with a panel, a executive panel. This is the third year I'll be doing it. I'm on the board with the Denver Earth Resources Library, and we've got Tad True coming in from Wyoming with True Companies, talking on the pipeline side. We have got Joe DeDominic, the CEO of Anschutz, talking about the powder and everything going on with Anschutz. And we've got Nathan Anderson with the North Dakota Department of Mineral Resources coming in from North Dakota to talk about the Bakken. So this is going to be an awesome Rockies packed podcast. We are definitely going to talk about oil prices, the Rockies, and the midstream. So not something you're going to want to miss. So with that, I am deep in the weeds on China, but I'm trying to come up and get some air and talk to you guys. Reach out at petros.com at the contact us page, and talk to you soon, folks. Bye.